education, politics,
economics, culture. Weekly news, a roundup of national news of the week on Renouveau TV every Saturday.
Weekly News, the news to English speakers.
Time for our English weekly program, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on Weekly News. Once more, welcome on Renouveau TV. Insecurity situation in our country. Many persons killed, several animals there, and houses burned. This is the sad record of the attack on Sunday, June 9th, against the village of Sobanda in the region of Mopti. This carnage occurred a few months after another perpetrated in Ogosagu in the same region, which killed more than 160 people. Let's remind that this week ago, a UN Secretary General warned a possible atrocity in the center. After this drama of Sobanda in the circle of Banjagara, the governor of the region of Mopti, General Sidi Alassane Touré, was removed from office this Wednesday, June 12. According to sources, other sanctions will be on the way. There will be military and security officials from the Mopti region. A few days after the tragedy in the village of Sobanda in the circle of Banjagara, the movement Bagnes organized this Thursday morning a press conference during which it expressed its indignation of the horror committed in this village. Members of movement Bagnes were also surprised by the non-reaction in time of the army, however, positioned 17 kilometers from the attacked village. Commentary. After observing a minute of silence in memory of the civilians killed in the attack of the village of Sobanda on June 9th, the president of Bagneso, Hamidou Jimine, was indignant at the carnage experienced by this village that he described as martyr. We are saddened, we are afflicted, we are overwhelmed, but we are more than ever determined to continue the fight and to honor the memory of our cowardly murdered relatives in Sobanda. He said, Bagneso emphasized the attitude of the now ex-governor Sidi Alassane Touré in the management of this crisis. In addition, the president of the movement Bagneso was surprised by the way in which the attackers arrived in the village without being intercepted. The spokesman of Dana Amasagu, Marcelin Gegere, and a survivor of the attack of the village, after describing the circumstances in which the attack occurred, invited all the children of the Dogon land to join hands in order to protect all the inhabitants of this area. Placed under the theme Air Pollution, the 20th edition of the Fortnight of the Environment was officially launched this Monday at the Palais de la Culture Amadou Ambateba on the banks of the Niger River. This edition, which took place here in Bamako, will be closed on June 27. Details with Khadijatu Maki Samaki.
Air pollution is the theme of the World Environment Day, a theme that challenges everyone because the challenges are many and complex. This edition, those activities will continue until June 17th, is a hope for a change of behavior in favor of the environment. The will of the Minister of Environment is supported by the head of the government, for whom there is no development without the protection of the environment. For the International Day for Combating Desertification, which is scheduled for June 17th, the theme is 25 years working together for the future.
As a prelude to the launch of the 100,000 social connection in the city of Bamako and surroundings, planned as part of the Kabbalah project, the leaders of the Malian Society for Drinking Water Management SOMAJEP and those of the Malian Heritage Society Drinking Water SOMAPEP hosted a press conference on Wednesday to express to the journalists the beginning of this activity. Commentary. Easy access to fossils by more people and at the lower cost will soon be a reality in Bamako and its surroundings. In front of the press this Wednesday, the Director General of SOMAJEP and SOMAPEP announced the official and progressive start of the operation of social connections. But this phase concerns only 3 agencies: the agency of Bakojihorni, the agency of Falaye, and the one of Banakabugu. For the rapid realization of this project, arrangements have been made. Let's remind that today the Kabbalah station produces 144 million water a day, and these figures will add to the existing 200 million liters. This will make a total production of 344 million liters of water a day. Support to the people affected by the Malian crisis. A Malian economic operator based in Mauritania named Mohamed Mokhtar is supporting towns and villages devastated by the crisis in the north and the center of the country. This donation of 400 tons of rice was received by the president of the movement Malian Tuku on Monday in his headquarters. Khadija Makisamake for more details.
Through this donation, the young Malian economic operator Mohamed Mokhtar responds to the call of the president of the movement Malien tout court, who had launched an appeal to the goodwill to come to the aid of the cities and villages devastated by the crisis in the north and the center of the country. Receiving these 400 tons of rice on behalf of the movement Malien tout court, President Ibrahim Diawara thanked the donor for this noble charity while reiterating his appeal. The members of the movement Malien tout court seized the opportunity to recall once again the apolitical nature of the movement. The ceremony was attended by several personalities, including the economic operator Mohamed Mokhtar.
The Commission Truth, Justice and Reconciliation and Lawyers Without Borders Canada jointly hosted a press briefing on Wednesday at the Peace-Speaking School at Blonde Bay. The objective was to present the result of the structure to the media report. This meeting with the press, which exchanged with the journalists on the result of the Commission Truth, Justice and Reconciliation, allowed the president of the CVGR to take stock of the activities carried out by this commission, but also to pronounce on the perspective. Sharing experiences beyond the structure, this seminar, followed by a press briefing, was warmly welcomed by the director of the NGO Lawyers Without Borders Canada. According to him, the CVGR is a very important pillar in a nation in crisis. This exchange meeting brought together, among others, representatives of civil society organizations, victims associations, partners, human rights defenders. It should be noted that the opening of the public hearing will take place next October. This hearing will allow victims to make a public statement. National Assembly. The Minister of Security and Civil Protection and his colleague of Territorial Administration and Decentralization were this Thursday morning in front of members of Parliament. If it was for General Salif Traore and Boubacar Alpha to explain the reasons for the delay by the army to intervene in Sobanda in the night from Sunday to Monday, elected officials of the nation also wanted to learn about the usefulness of aircraft and other equipment acquired under the law of orientation and military programmation. The leaders of the Front for the Safeguarding of Democracy organized Thursday, June 13, a press conference on the socio-political situation of the country. The exchanges with the press focus in particular on the political agreement of governance, the carnages of the center of the country, and the progression of the members of parliament mandate. Smaila Sise, Shugal Kukalamaiga, Konimba Sidibe, Mutakata had this debate with the press. First chapter, the massacres in the center of the country, then the progression of the mandate of the members of the parliament for the second time. This conference takes place in a particular socio-political context. This is why the journalists wanted to know the exact position of the Front for the Safeguard of Democracy on the political agreement of governance. Expressing its position on the progression of the Member of Parliament mandate, the Front for the Safeguard of Democracy is determined to fight against this law that violates the Constitution. The Minister of Malian Overseas received on Monday in the premises of its department delegation of the High Council of Malian Overseas led by its president. The objective of this meeting was to make an inventory of the collaboration between the two structures. During the discussions, the president of the High Council of Malian Overseas underlined the various achievements made by its organization before seeking the support of the government. Khadija Maki Samaki.
Led by its president Habib Silla, the delegation of the High Council of Malians from outside meets for the first time the Minister of Tutelage after his renewal in the government. This is an opportunity for the delegation to decline the organization's actions plan with many challenges. Congratulating the visitors of the day, the Minister of the Malians of the outside, Amadou Koita, reassured them of the commitment of his department to meet the many challenges facing the organization. Previously, a minute of silence had been observed in memory of the victims of Salbunu Da in the circle of Bajangara.
Sharing a strategic document and a contribution to the analysis of the water and forest service and the management of natural resources of the Réseau Climate Mali. This was the aim of a meeting of exchange with the environmental services for the adaptation to the effect of climate change. The chairing ceremony, which took place on Tuesday here in Bamako, was chaired by the representative of the Minister of Environment, Sanitation and Sustainable Development in the presence of members of Association of Réseau Climate Mali. Commentary with Khadija Samaki.
Strategy paper on capitalization and learning lesson, conflict sensitivity strategy paper, and strategic gender approach are the works of Réseau Climate Mali to effectively fight the effects of climate change. The publication of these various documents allows the Réseau Climate Mali to put itself at the standard of international NGOs. For the representative of the Minister of the Environment, Sanitation and Sustainable Development, these documents will be very useful for the department in decision making. In addition to its usefulness in strategic decision making, these documents help young foresters to master the services but also to better understand their missions. With its 10 years of experience, the Réseau Climate Mali brings together more than 115 associations and implements 3 programs in the fight against the harmful effects of climate change.
Praise to the guest of the week. People killed, many wounded and homes burned. Such are the horrid balance of the crisis that prevails in Mali today. To talk about peace building, that means we're going to talk about peace building, and to talk about that with 2 guests. The first one is Asataba. Asataba is a general specialist researcher. Asata, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
The second one is Khadija Maki Samake. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome all of you on Renouveau TV. So as you notice both, we live in crisis since 2012. Mali has been living this crisis and peace is totally absent, we can say. So first of all, you, according to you, how can we build peace today in Mali?
Thank you. I think all start with civilians, and I have noticed, like through the research I have been doing about peace in Mali and particularly women's involvement, that the gatekeepers that are in charge of peace focus mostly on security, that is through militarization and on development. But for my own opinion, it's like we should focus on individuals, people living together, but because at the end of the day, it's those people who are suffering. So it's not just about signing peace agreements or organizing training, but it's making sure that the people who are living together can live in peace and social cohesion.
Since 2012, Mali knows no more peace.
Definitely.
What can be done?
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me the floor. And then I really agree with everything Aisata said. And I believe that peace building is a long process. It's not something that we can achieve on like a week or a month or even a year. It's a very long process because people are sad and some do not forget like as fast as others do. So we have to first of all forgive one another, and we have also to bear in mind that Fulanis, Dogon, Bambara, we are all the same. We're the same people. We don't know any xenophobia. We don't know any kind of war. But this really surprised us. So we have to bear in mind that there is nothing between the two or the three, let's say, or our ethnic groups. We have to bear in mind that we're the same people.
Okay, we are the same people. As I say now, we can say 4-5 years about no really peace in Mali, and this is really sad today. Now, you as a woman, what can be the role of women role in this peace management, peace building?
Yeah, as I was saying, peace doesn't start just with peace agreement or making sure that international peacekeepers come and talk and do conferences or training, but it starts with the citizens who are suffering from those wars. And women's role is really important. When you look at the literature all around the world, we have been wars in Slovenia, in in Northern Ireland and countries like that. We have seen that through peace, they have to involve every citizen, and for that we need to include women, not only because just to take them and make like we want to include women as it is required by international convention, but their participation should be mainly in the in the households, but also on the peace negotiation table, because what we have noticed through the results of the peace negotiation in Ouagadougou, I think, and other places, we have noticed that women's presence was very, very, very minor, and their voices were like not very included. So what we can do is like not only call them and say, okay, we want you for peace, but we have to make sure that they are included in the discussion, because when they come, they include their perspective. When you bring only male in the table to talk about peace, they cannot see they cannot see through women's lenses. So standpoint counts a lot. Women, when they come, they know how women suffer from war, because we have seen some have been raped, some have lost their husbands, some have lost their kids, their home. So this is all that make them able to talk about peace and bring their perspective, because at the end of the day, they participate in the peace building. So peace table and everywhere they have to be included, not only.
Okay, so you just talk about negotiation. To negotiate with what? Because today in Mali we have terrorists, we have jihadists, we have many kind of person who doing bad thing today. To negotiate with whom?
I think when I say negotiate, I mean like when they were preparing for the peace agreement, the last one that was done, and for that they have included everyone, but the civil society, particularly women's movement, were not that much involved. And when you notice, they even kind of blocked the door to be present, they forced to be present, and when they came, they added new things. So when I talk about negotiation, I mean people who are involved, and people who are involved, that can concern people, the government, the international people for peacekeeping, and also the people who are not content by the situation. This can be people who take weapons against their brothers, but anyone that is in gatekeeping role can be involved. And for that, women also have a role, so they have to be part of a negotiation. It's not just because the peace, when you talk about peace in Mali, people refer to the peace agreement. They are like, we are doing that because of the peace agreement. So how can you take a peace agreement while people who are not concerned are not there on the table to discuss? So when I say negotiation, I mean when the gatekeepers and stakeholders go to talk about peace. And
yes, I remain always with you, because the signature of this peace, those who were on the same table are Madam Government, international forces, let's say UN, the representative of UN, we have SEMA, we have Gacha. But today on the field, those who are preventing peace are not of them is our person.
I think like people come, when we come to a table to talk, everyone come with their own perspective and biases. This is important to underline, because we all have goals in what we are doing. the government has goals. International peacekeeping missions, they have their goals, and so do the citizens. So when they come, they want to talk. I believe that the weapon, because as I told you, in literature, when you look the security situation, they talk more about decentralization, resources sharing, and also about militarization. When I talk about that, it's like people shouldn't focus on the weapon, because that's not the solution. They must focus on how can we ensure that people who are using the weapon, how are we going to ensure that we hear their concerns. Because if you notice, people mostly talk from their own perspective, with their own emotions and their own biases. But how can we ensure that people who are affected, people who also commit their crimes, to understand what they are doing and how we can stop that?
Okay, role of women in peacekeeping.
Well, Sagara, how can we even talk about peace building without, involving women in it? I don't understand that, because as Aisata said, we are the ones who are really concerned. In war and stuff, we are the ones who get raped, who lose our husbands and stuff. So definitely, we cannot talk about peace building without us. And the way women can build peace is through the family. We have to teach our children how to be a peaceful person, how not to hate the other one, and so on. So definitely, as you said, I totally agree.
Yes, so if I understand well, is education the family?
Definitely,
yes,
upbringing.
But today, problem is anywhere in Mali. There is really lack of peace today. Education in the family is sufficient today to build peace?
I mean, it might, because every day there is a newborn. So, we lack of peace, that's true, and we also lack of education. So we lack of both. But still, we can, I think this is a matter of communication or mediation, because I know that Aisata, Mrs. Bahu is here, knows that Dogons are her brother and sisters. You agree with me, right? And you, Sagara, you know that Fulani people are your brother and sister, right? So, but where is this fight coming from? I think this is something we have to look at, because in the villages maybe they don't listen to, or maybe it's I don't know if the radios talk about this all the time. But we have to tell and recall it. We have to tell people that we are the same. So education is still possible. Like, you guys know that there is nothing between Dogons and Fulani, but there is something more than that. I don't want to go on that, but I think you guys understand it.
Can I add something about education? I believe when we say education, these people have this misconception that education is about school whenever you need it. But I think education is not only important for peace building, but it's also important to make sure to ensure that people get together and get along together. Because before we talk about peace, we have to talk about the living together. And this education does come from parents, how they behave, how they act. And we have to make sure that, because the perception we have about the over and overing people, make sure that we teach that to our kids, and they grow up with this perception of them, this negative perception and stereotype. And when they come in contact with those people, that can happen. But living together, our behavior and the way we act can. This is important when you look at early child development theories and peace building. They go together, because children learn habits from their parents, and they exhibit it in their daily life.
Okay, let's go back to Samake. Today, when we try to see in our country, we have Barkan, we have G5 style, we have UN missions supposed to keep peace in our country, but peace is a dream today. So do you think that these free forces are still their place in Mali?
Well, I think you have that answer more than I do, but I don't know. I don't really want to answer this question. But anyway, I think that if they are really here for peace, then we would have gotten peace. So if we don't have peace and they are still here, then there is something weird in it. So we have to rethink about it.
Okay, now what should these free forces do so that we can have peace we're dreaming today?
It's my belief that most of the time, and this you can notice that through every day, through social media and people what they say in the ground, like when they socialize, people talk through emotions and again through the biases. So we should take away the emotion when we talk about those organizations. Let's face the truth. If Mali was capable of bringing peace, of stopping this, they wouldn't be calling those international forces. And I don't want to get into too much in the field where I won't feel comfortable, but what I can say is like peacekeeping missions, they have rules and directives that direct them, but it's up to the the people they are collaborating with. This can be our government, this can be the people they bring, because peacekeeping missions, when you look at the literature, most of the time they sometimes bring with them problems, and women suffer most of the time from those problems. This is what feminist theorists are against sometimes peacekeeping missions, because when they come with their own agenda, but also the individuals on the field can bring sexually harass the women there, and also we should take all those aspects into account because they affect people's life. And also most importantly, when we talk about peacekeeping, how are these people interacting with the citizens, and what is the goal when they interact with people? Because when you see a peacekeeping mission, you will feel like they are in the armor, like how can that psychologically affect people? These are things they should reflect on and try to change.
Okay, so as it's almost time, do you agree with what she said?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now what can be your last word as it's time? Sorry.
Well, my last word, honestly, I really want the radios, the media, if you want, to really recall Malians that we're the same, and we don't have to think that it's the Dogon who are killing the Fulanis or the Fulanis who are killing the Dogon people. We have to really use the media to educate people, if you want.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think we should work with narratives, like how we depict the over is really important. We have seen this is not the first crisis in Mali. The northern part of the country has been suffering, and how we people in this part of the country perceive those people in the north, in the southern, how Fulani perceive Dogon, how Bambara perceive Fulani. This is important. We should change our narrative and talk about the over with love and try to inculcate social cohesion with people. And I think with that we can do a lot of things.
We can talk with love, as Martin Luther King. Love is the only thing which can transform an enemy to a friend. So I was with Miss Aisataba. Aisataba is a gender specialist, researcher, and Khadija Makisamake. We're talking about peace building. That means we're going to put an end to this program here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Weekly News.
Education, politics,
Economics, culture. Weekly News, a roundup of national news of the week on Renouveau TV every Saturday.
Weekly News, the news to English speakers.